Pronunciation.
Pronunciation Pro.
Pronunciation Pro.
Hello and welcome to the Pronunciation Pro podcast. My name is Annie Rudin, and today I just want to acknowledge you as a warrior. You are facing a hard fight. And during our study group today, our students were teaching me a lot of interesting things through their words and their experiences. And it was really profound, and I was really proud of them for the insight that they offered us and some of the valuable lessons. So I wanted to pass that on to you so that we can all benefit from their experiences and their words and expertise, because it is quite amazing to see all of you who are working so hard to accomplish goals, who are working so hard to make change in your lives, and the process that you are doing to do that. So I say that you're warriors because as I was listening to our students today in the study group, I had just kind of this visualization of them with shields and swords. I'm going to tell you two different experiences of students and what they were telling me, and kind of that visualization of the sword and the shield. So you think of like a warrior, and in the movies and kind of in our history books, there have been some incredible warriors, people who have fought hard for the things that they believe in and things that they care most about. And that's what you're doing. So often it's for your families, it's for your future, it's for your countries, it's for your communities, it's for a better life. And it's really noble. It's really incredible, the mindset that you have to improve, to get better, and what you're willing to do to accomplish these goals. So the example number one I want to share is our student Ken was telling us about the way that he goes into situations now. He's been in my program for several years, and just really enjoys the process of continuing to learn and grow. And especially I've noticed, of course, the changes in his pronunciation, but especially just the growth in mindset and what he's able to accomplish in his life. And so it's been great to kind of see this. But today I was asking, okay, what is a win that you have? And he was telling me about that he is now seeking after experiences that may cause him fear, but that he is willing to be uncomfortable and wants to go towards discomfort for the sake of growth. And we talk about that as far as self-confidence, right? We can do hard things, we can do new things, and we're willing to experience discomfort for the sake of growth. And so that third one is what he is proactively doing to improve his life. And so he was just saying that he went to a water park, and that, he was purposely going down slides that scared him and doing things that scared him. And that it was his way to train himself and train his thinking, train his brain to be comfortable with uncomfortable things, to be comfortable with things that scared him. And then he proceeded to go through a bunch of thoughts that were helpful for him. So some of the thoughts that he practices during these times is, I can overcome this. Nothing is too difficult. Everything is not as bad as I fear. Another one is, when I face it straight on, it's fine, and I get what I want in the end. Okay? And that everything is a muscle that can be trained. I love this. And I especially like when he said, when I face it straight on, it's fine, and I get what I want in the end. What came to mind is this visual of him walking across coals. So you think of Tony Robbins, and he kind of has that practice of people walking across hot coals with bare feet. And that to get to the other side of it, they have to endure this discomfort of walking over the coals. And the whole point of that practice is a mindset practice, right? It's am I willing to do an uncomfortable thing and be able to train my brain to be okay with it and to do it and not be scared and to back out of it, but that they're willing to go through this uncomfortable thing for the sake of growth, right? For the sake of mental growth and really showing yourself that you can do hard things and really uncomfortable things. And so he was saying, when I face things and it turns out fine, then I get what I want at the end. It really kind of builds my confidence in my abilities, right? And as he was saying this, he said it in a different way. He said, these experiences, as I move into uncomfortable things, these experiences build evidence or give me evidence that kind of reinforces the mindset. So I can overcome this. Nothing is too difficult. Everything is not as bad as I fear. When he's able to have experiences that then turn out to be not as bad as he thought and not so difficult, and that he was able to overcome it, it reinforces that belief that, that then builds confidence. Okay. And that really is what confidence comes from, is as you train your brain and say, I can do this, then you move into these experiences, that bring discomfort, but then you realize after the fact, oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. And then it builds that experience of that evidence in your life that, hey, I'm not going to die if I go through, if I do this. Then you're willing to do it again and again and again. And then you can build confidence in that thing. So think about it in terms of being in a meeting, and wanting to speak up and to share your ideas, is that at first, the idea of speaking up, and this is for many of you, and you may be in varying degrees of this, but many of you want to speak up, but your body then gets activated, you get really nervous. And then either you decide not to because your body is telling you to stop, right? Those chemicals in your brain are saying no, 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 don't speak up, and it's flooding your brain, causing a reaction in your body that then makes you scared, and you pull back and you say, no, I'm not going to say anything. That thought that came to mind that I want to say, I'm not going to say anything. Okay. You can either pull back and don't do it, or you can say, no, I'm going to say this. I am going to overcome that fear. I can overcome this. Nothing is too difficult. Everything is not as bad as I fear. And you go ahead and say what you need to say in this meeting. And then afterwards, you realize, oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought. And I'm going to live after these experiences, and that's okay. It gives evidence to your brain that, like, okay, I can do this. Now, the opposite is true. Sometimes we say something and then we get so embarrassed by it, or we start overthinking it or criticizing ourselves about it. And then the opposite is true. You gain evidence that it is too hard and I don't like the way it feels afterwards. And I'm not going to ever do that again. And, speaking up only leads to pain and discomfort. Okay. So the difference between that is the mindset. You go into that, even if you feel like, hey, this didn't go as well as I hoped, you can shift that mindset and say, well, this is a learning experience. I'll do better next time. Now I know what not to do. Now I know that this is an experience that is going to, help me learn. Okay. These are all mindset tricks. And so when I was thinking of Ken in this situation, I was thinking of him with a sword. And the sword is him attacking these things that he fears. So think of the fear monster there, and he's going and attacking these fear monsters with his sword. He's proactively going after things that scare him. And he's going into these situations and forcing himself to go into situations because he wants to train the muscles. So just think of it as holding a big, heavy sword. He wants to train the muscles. He wants to train that fighting skills, those warrior skills. He is he is moving into situations that will help him build that skill. Now he's taking action. He's taking action on that. And that is a big part of building confidence. You can't just sit there and think positive thoughts. You have to create action behind it. So you have to join a program like Pronunciation Pro and start actively working on your communication skills. You have to speak up in that meeting. You have to go talk to somebody that you are scared to talk to. You have to go for that promotion. You have to go for that job. These are all giving you experiences. And as you go into them with a mindset that is empowering, right? Nothing is too difficult. Everything is not as bad as I fear. This isn't a learning experience. This is practice for me to improve and get better. As you go into those situations, and then after the fact, I did my very best. I can feel proud about how I showed up. I have room to learn and grow, and that's okay. Everyone does. There's this muscle that you're training. That mind is a muscle that you can train through this repetition. We talk a lot about repetition in the Pronunciation Pro course. The only way to improve those muscle motors in your mouth is by repetition, saying things over and over again with the new sound, with the target sound. So we're going to keep doing that over and over and over again. And what I love, Ken is going after these things that he fears, building that muscle, taking action, and he is a warrior, right? And I know all of, you're all doing this to one degree or another. You're walking into situations that are scary and you're taking action in those. And I want you to really acknowledge yourself for that. Think, about the small wins that you're doing. And you may feel discouraged and you may feel kind of beaten down, but you're doing it. And that's a huge win. And I'm super proud of you. Another example was from Tia, and she was talking about how she is using certain mindset skills when she is speaking on the phone. She works on phones, and when she perceives any racism, whether it is or not, if she's perceiving it, it tends to shut down her brain. And so then she has a process of shifting her mindset. She's been practicing certain sayings such as, I'm doing my best. I'm going to keep growing and improving. I'm proud of who I am. It doesn't diminish my worth. What their opinion of me doesn't diminish my worth and my value. She has this set of phrases and thoughts that she is practicing. And when she was talking, I felt that she had a shield, where, these words coming from other people or judgment coming from other people, she was able to kind of has developed the muscles to, and that shield of resilient thinking, okay, that shield of resilience in her mindset, and is pulling up that shield to block it. Okay. And at first that shield was heavy. It was really hard to lift, but the more she practiced it, the easier it got, because she strengthened that muscle. So she's pulling this shield up and she's blocking those judgments or those thoughts from other people, and she's blocking it out of her mind. Or it can't hurt her. It can't penetrate her, because she has developed this shield of resistance and resilience, okay, to those attacks. So I want you to think for yourself, what attacks are you getting? What things are you being attacked with? What judgment or what perceived judgment are you being attacked by? Or thoughts, or, they could be from your own thoughts or other people's thoughts or words that are attacking you. And we need to develop that strength in being able to lift that sword or lift that shield to block those out. So as soon as you feel those judgmental thoughts coming into your mind, whether it be from yourself or from others, recognize it. So we want to get awareness, And then we want to kind of practice then those thoughts that are going to shield you from it. My worth is set. I am valuable. I am worthy. I am enough. I belong. I am statements are very, very powerful. So I am. I am strong. I am a part of this community. I am resilient. I am enough. I can do hard things. I can overcome this. Nothing is too difficult. Their judgment doesn't have to reflect on me. It's more of a reflection on them. There's a lot of these really powerful mantras or affirmations that can help us practice that or build that muscle to put up that shield. Now, we have so many examples of this in the Pronunciation Pro program from our students. And I just really appreciated the way that our students shared with us today and gave us that insight of what it's like to really be fighting this battle every single day, just like you are. And you don't have to fight alone. That's why we have communities such as Pronunciation Pro, so that you can be inspired from other people. You can inspire other people on this path. So come join us at Pronunciation Pro, where we can all support and build each other. I hope you have a wonderful day and that you enjoy the process of growth. The process of growth can be fun. It can be a great journey. And the sooner that we can enjoy the journey, and sooner that we can enjoy the process of growth and see the joy in it, the better life becomes. We can be happy and we can find joy right here, right now, in the hard, in the difficult. And what I've found from my own life and from the examples of those around me is that it's not the circumstances of our lives, it's the focus of our lives. That's a quote from a church leader that I especially appreciate. He says, and it's Russell Nelson is his name, and he says, our happiness has less to do with the circumstances of our lives and more to do with the focus of our lives. Okay. So what we're focused on is what will provide the greatest joy and happiness. And when we're focused on things that are positive and building and empowering and things that we're grateful for, we are going to build a very resilient mind. And so no matter what you're dealing with, no matter what you're going through, whatever challenge is in front of you, you are going to be able to fight it like a warrior. And I know you already are. And I know that you can find evidence of how you already are doing this. And I encourage you to do that. Really think about ways that you are a warrior. And not a worrier, a warrior. Do you hear the difference there? Warrior, a fighter, okay? Versus a worrier is someone who worries and is fearful. Okay, warrior. All right, that's a good contrast, a minimal pairs contrast with a very different meaning. A warrior is strong. A worrier is weak. And we want to be strong like a warrior. Okay, you're amazing. Keep up the great work. Keep up the fight. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Pronunciation Pro.
Pronunciation Pro.
Pronunciation Pro.